started to realize that although I made so much progress overcoming such traumatic things, I realized that although I was advancing in some areas, everything around me still looked pretty dark. And day by day it got darker, and my experiences started to attract more dark. And before you knew it, I just felt this dark gloom come over me. Just felt like, how can this be? I've worked so hard. I've learned as much as I can learn. Reading daily, not sleeping many days, doing the steps required to make sure that I don't ever become that girl who put herself on clearance ever again. That girl was gone, and I was determined to never be that again. But all the while I was determined to never be that way again, going at it fully, like a bull, literally, like don't look back, no victim mentality, all of the stuff that, they talk about. I was doing all of it. I was, but I failed to see that in the process of doing that, I was closing off my heart. And I failed to see that the fear of ever feeling that pain again had me building up brick walls, covering who I really was inside. So although I was advancing, at the same time, I really wasn't. I was advancing, but so much of me was dying. So much of me that mattered was literally leaving. I reached that point where I just said, oh my God, it's so dark. Where's the light? And I knew that I had to figure out how to turn the light back on. And I had to do that because what's the point of living if I can't love? If I can't be the person that I always swore that I would stay, no matter what I went through in my past, I always said I'll never be like those people. And here I was. My heart was starting to close off. I had to take a time out. I had to get back realigned with myself. And I had to look at my life and say, am I really living this life truly, like the way I want it to be? Or am I just doing the necessary steps so I'm strong and so I can prove a point to everybody? Because you know what? A lot of me wanted to. A lot of me built my way up out of anger when it would have been a lot easier to build my way up in love. But we all carry defenses. And I felt like if I was to let any kind of niceness or love into the mix, that I would become that old person I once was. I didn't want to be her anymore, and I knew I had to protect myself, but I could have went a different way. I just felt so determined, and that determination that anger just drove me, but at the same time it was doing such damage inside of me. And I knew I had to fix it, so I realigned myself. And I started to dive deep back into myself, trying to center myself and get back to who I really was. Maybe that person wasn't so bad after all. At least she had a really big heart. At least she felt, at least she was able to have connection with other people. This version is like a brick wall. It's fake. It's not everything it seems. There are days where so much of me would just wish that a friend would say, how's it going? And I just was honest. I'm not doing good. I'm strong during the day, and I put on face, and I go hardcore at things, and I work nonstop. But the reason I work nonstop is so I don't have to feel this heartbreak, these failures, these things, right? Who am I fooling? And so much of me just wanted a shoulder to cry on in that moment. And I realized there really wasn't anywhere to cry on. I kind of built this brick wall up so high that there was nothing. And so I had to really, really get back to myself and do what's right. You know, during all of this, I started dating and listening to all the coaches, you know. Be careful with that. I mean, I just felt like I had to follow the advice of them. It's been a while, right? So what do they have me doing? Oh, date like 5 to 7 different people, you know? That way, you know, if they don't want to do something that day, no sweat. You just go out with the other guy. Or, you know, play this game or play that game. Like, it was all game and tactic. And it was so fake. And it was something that I did not want to be. Because let's be real. If it did work out in my favor with some guy that I really liked, how much of a favor is that, honestly? Because I would be a fake person. It's not me. I don't want to be anything other than myself. Like, why? What's the point? That's to win a game. That's not to win love. So I had to get back and give myself a reality check. That's not what I wanted. You know, I don't desire that. But my ego always was that little voice. No, we must protect you. We must protect you. Let's be superficial. Let's put up the walls. Let's fight everybody when they don't agree with you. Let's be in defense all the time, and let's just walk around with this brick wall up, not allowing anyone to step inside your world. Okay, let's do that. My mind and my ego are like two little team members that are on the same team. And then there's my heart. And my heart is by itself while the ego and the mind attack. And the ego and mind was taking over for a bit there. But when I thought I was keeping myself safe, I really wasn't. Darkness was coming in me. And the more darkness that comes in you, everything starts to alter. And not in a good way. There's nothing I was keeping safe. I was hurting my own self. Thinking I was doing just that. I just reached the point where I was like, you know what? I want to be me. And, you know, like when it comes to dating, like I want to be me. And if somebody says that looks like too much or too needy because I'm vulnerable and honest and myself, well, that's fine. That's okay. That doesn't mean anything other than, you know what? You're not my person, because my person is going to respect who I am. My person's going to love who I am, because I wouldn't want to be with somebody that couldn't recognize what I have and what I offer. So that's how I went about it. No more covering, no more trying to be something I'm not. Like, this is what you get. If you don't like it, that's fine. You know, like, I was not going to have all this negative pressure and trying to be in this script that I don't belong to. You know, maybe popular culture is about those games and about what they talk about when you're dating nowadays. But I'm not with it. That's not me. And I'm not going to sign my name on that bandwagon. I'm just done doing it. You know, because I have come to find that the more I live true to myself, that's where I'm most happiest, honestly. Because why would I want to live somebody else's script? This is my life. And I'm not living if I am playing an acting role, you know? Like, I have realized that the more I just don't take things personally. And you know, for instance, like I had gotten an argument or a little spat with a friend, and he said something, and I immediately, the old me or the me I'd been walking around with would have just instantly in defense spat something out of the mouth back, right? But I literally had to take a step back and then go into my little dark hole, which is what I call it, I guess. And I had to literally grab hold of my ego and go to war. Like, literally, the ego's saying, no, you need to go back out there and defend yourself. Go back out there. You know you want to say it. Put them in their place. And then the me deep inside is saying, no. You're going to sit, you're going to process, because you're going to have a way better mind frame going into that conversation after you sit back and chill. And I would just be battling. It was like a freaking, boxing match. And I would have to sit there and let it all play out, like, without going and talking and confronting this person. Once my ego would quiet down and get tired, then I would gain control over it. And then, I could think clearly. And then at that point say, you know what? This person said this, but, one thing I've learned through learning is there's multiple answers to everything. When I was constantly reading, constantly trying to obtain information, I can remember just being like, finding something and be like, wow, that's, and kind of like go with that thought. But then you start to learn more and you realize, oh, no, there's another answer to this same thing. And this one makes more sense. So with learning, there's always like a double answer, I feel like there's never just one answer. And for so long, I thought there's only one answer. There's only one way. But no, in everyday scenarios, everyday life and everything, there are multiple answers. And it's what fits you best and what aligns with you. So what might work best in my favor is saying, do I say, this person meant it, they meant harm by it, they meant this, or what's going to be best for me? Thinking the best outcome. Okay, what do they say about words? Words are, honestly, they say words are like, black magic, and then there's that, whatever, I don't know what they call it, white magic, light magic, I don't know. But it's whatever you say or think, basically kind of like the law of attraction. You're going to bring that into your life. So the old me that would have went in defense, got my feelings hurt, and been like thinking, nope, they automatically meant the worst thing possible when they said that. That's basically taking one thing they did when you're not even sure what it was and saying, this is what they meant by it. And that becomes true then. Your words things become true. So whatever you're saying to yourself that's bad, you're putting black magic on yourself. You're bringing it into existence. You're making it true. Just as if you were to, like, with anything else, with somebody else saying that to you. The only way it's true is if you accept it. But your way of not accepting it and your way of, making it a reality could be, what is going to work out in my favor? And at that time, what I thought was, what is going to work best for me is I'm going to think he did not mean it in a mean way. Matter of fact, I'm going to think that I just misunderstood what he said. And it's nothing against me and in my character, right? So what happens is when you take back the power by doing that, you can then confront them out of a place of love. So whether they meant it or they didn't, it has no meaning or control over your life. And then not only that, I truly believe that love is the only thing that can outstand the darkness. Like, I don't believe you can fight dark with dark. I believe you fight dark with the light. And if I come in a loving place, not only am I being like a healing energy towards that person, but I'm being it to myself. And so often we think that when we're mad, like, let me fight this person, let me yell at this person, I just want to get it out. But it's not working out in your favor. How many times do we do that and then we regret it later on? We say, oh my God, I looked so stupid. Why did I do that? I wish I didn't do that. Because when you really get in tune with yourself, you'll say, do you really want to hurt this person? Do you really want to say it? Think about it hard. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, you'll be like, no, I care about this person. Yes, they may have said something I don't agree with, but deep down in me, I care about this person. That's why it is affecting me. So I'm not going to react that way. I'm going to come from a place of love. And since I've been living my life like that, I can't tell you how much easier it is. Like, it takes away any kind of rejection. It takes away any of those negative thoughts. It takes away all the negativity. It doesn't matter who's negative. You don't have to be that. You be the light. And I've made it like a mission now in my own life, is that when I feel like there is some darkness around me, to make sure I step back into myself and I get centered, and I get myself back into a place of love, because I believe love is the cure for everything. And it's, inside of us, that's how we were made, out of love. We are pure love deep inside of us, and it's all about getting back to that place and living out of love. If you can just look at maybe your kids or other kids playing, or try to remember what it was like for you as a child. Kids are so innocent, and you look at them and they're just full of joy. The first thing they want to do, they want to get up and play. They have just this carefree, loving, just spirit. And, all of us had that at one time. And some point, we just get so conditioned to living this world and what we're taught, by our peers. And somewhere along the way, we just get negative, and we lose that innocence, and we lose a lot of the childhood joy we had, and we just start to change, right? If we look at kids, that are innocent, and they come into the world and they're just carefree, that's a place we should all try to get back to. It's a place where we don't have to be so offended at every little thing. When we're children, we could literally get in a fight with a little kid, but then 2 minutes later, we're best friends again. Can we do that now? It's really rare. Like, we hold grudges for God knows how long, and we can't just let things go, right? So that's when we choose to pick love, that's bringing us back to our childhood, when life was actually, just amazing, right? Just really getting in tune with that. I know a lot of people probably think, well, if I open my heart, if I choose to do this, the fear starts creeping in. But the more you practice, just coming from a place of love, you'll start to realize that you don't have that fear anymore. There is no fear, because if things don't work out, let's say, if things don't go in your favor, at the end of the day that you're fine, because you're secure with who you are. You are loved, and you love yourself, and that, it's okay. It's if they hurt you, it has nothing to do with you. That's on them. And you just keep going after love. The big thing is learning how to just lay the ego down. Each time you see it trying to come out, and putting it to death. That's how I see it. I just have to put it back to death. And I'm not going to lie, that can be a fight all in itself. It's challenging when you're battling against your ego. But as you do it, and you step back, back on track, on the path after you get done fighting it, and head towards the light. When I choose to do it, it illuminates the answer. And the answer's so clear. I'm going to come from a place of love, because I want to believe the best in others, and for myself, I would like that back. It's so important now to me that I experience life in this way. I refuse to be shut down and overcome by the darkness. When I do that, I'm in defeat. That means that all those bad things that happened in my past is overcoming me because of the darkness. I understand I am strong enough to live open no matter the cost. Because really, what is living if I have to remain shut down and be somebody I'm not? That's a death sentence all in itself. I honor my own code that I've taken on. And whether I'm wrong or right, I would always want to believe the very best in other people. And in return, I want the same back. There's always an answer, double times, in every scenario. Each one of us always has an answer. Why did I need somebody else's opinion certain times in my life? Truth is, what I choose to believe is what it will be. Words are only words if you accept them to be true. When we jump to conclusions, it's restraining you from continuing to walk to see the light in the dark. To not get lost, to stay on path. And to know that regardless of what anyone thinks, the only opinion that really matters is the one you have of yourself. Choose to live in the light so everything becomes lighter in your life. Let down your burden and pick the path of less resistance, less weights to carry around. Just be authentically you. Let your light shine. If you like this, please subscribe.